On this episode, we showcase the journey of Vasion, a leading automation platform on a mission to making digital transformation attainable for everyone, from commercial businesses across industries like healthcare and manufacturing to nonprofits and government agencies. Hear how their collaboration with the AWS Innovation and Transformation team enabled a working backwards approach for building solutions like automated document processing and Vasion's vision for autonomous workflow automation through AI. Well, I'm excited to welcome from Vasion the Chief Technology and Product Officer, Corey Ercanbrack.
Thank you.
Thank
Excited
you for
to be
being
here.
here with us, Corey. Yeah. And from our Innovation and Transformation programs, we have our Principal Specialist, Ellen Cowan. Ellen,
nice to be here.
Always great to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. So, Corey, for our international listeners, can you share a little bit about the mission of Vasion?
Yeah. So Vasion vision is to make digital transformation attainable for everyone. And when we talk about making it attainable for everyone, we mean everyone. And the way that we're going about doing that is we're delivering an automation solution to businesses to help them transform the way that they do business, move from paper, manual-based processes into automation processes. And by doing that, what we're seeing is that helps them transform the experience for their customers, their end users. So everyone's now getting this digital transformation experience.
Right. Tell us a little bit about your customers, because you have quite a variety, don't you?
Yeah, like we're going on to 14,000 customers across almost all segment sizes, from small to very, very large customers. And our key customers are biggest in like healthcare verticals. We have a big government, local, state vertical. We have manufacturing customers. We have logistic customers. And then we have a slew of the rest of the customers.
Right.
And inside of those customers, we also have some nonprofit organizations that we're helping out.
Wonderful. That sounds great.
There's the sense of the citizen automator, anybody being able to understand if they have a process which is complex and has a lot of workflow and especially a lot of paper and forms and manual steps that humans are stuck doing, and really being able to help identify that there's an opportunity for transformation and bring transformation awareness to that level. So anybody who's in any organization can be aware and start to participate.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges that we identified early on as we were starting to sell this solution into our customers who are IT people, that they were apprehensive of actually jumping into automation because they knew it would build a backlog of work for them, to your point. And it's like, it's just too much work to do. And so this citizen automator concept is to say, look, whoever's doing the manual process today, can we make this solution so easy that they can actually automate their own work, taking that burden off of IT and actually allow companies to truly go about automating? And that's the solution that we're bringing to market now.
I love the story of your own transformation as a company in your move to the cloud, and in bringing that same appetite for change and transformation to your customers.
Yeah. When we were first starting, we were very much an on-prem perpetual license solution. This was mid 2015. And we really had a desire. We saw cloud starting to take off. Like, we came to AWS reInvent. We started seeing some takeoff, and cloud migration becomes something really important. So we dove all in, and we said, we're going to partner with AWS. We're going to build on top of AWS. And we went even to the extent of working with your solution architects to really get well-architected solution, fully immutable, like highly scalable. And that's the platform that we really built. And that transformation for us was super unique because we were the first in our industry to actually bring our capabilities to a SaaS solution. And it was a great trip.
Right. And I love that focus on customer centricity, Ellen. It's the work that you do every day with customers across the country, right? But what you're talking about really is having that empathy for your customers and customers, Corey, right? And Ellen, tell us a little bit about that. Yeah.
I was just in Vasion's office, what was it, 2 weeks ago? And boy, did we go down the path of like, let's think one more time about all the different customers we serve and the different perspectives. And what are the actual problems that they solve? What's the life that they're living today? Where's the friction that they're encountering today? And identifying that there's many types of customers who are on the other side of realizing that they have challenges that can be overcome with some automation. So we really step through that, and we have quite a set of, you could call them use cases or journeys that we know that we can tackle on our journey together in the partnership.
Yeah.
Can you share one of those use cases or journeys that you've been working on?
Yeah. So one of the journeys that we worked on really, really early with AWS was actually with a large county here in the United States. And they were in the process of going out to market to get an approved RFP to hire more people to come in and like manually construct paper and sort paper manually and then scan it in so that they could get it in the right positions.
Right.
And what we said is with AWS, look, we can come in and we can automate that process, and we can leverage some technology like Textract to actually do intelligent document processing. So instead of having to have all the sorting happening, what can happen is somebody will bring in a stack of paper that will include things like birth certificates and police reports and hospital analysis reports or information. And they can just put that on a scanner and it scans, and every page that gets scanned gets sent to Textract. Some of those pages are handwritten.
Right.
And we really had a challenge because we wanted to give a lot of credibility, like in the 90% of what's getting pulled off those documents with Textract. And then we can take those and automatically classify them, store them, and push them into the core system so the judges could have access to them at any time, search on them, find it easy.
Right. And I love that reduction of the manual sort of undifferentiated work so that the folks, even at the county level, can up-level the work that they're doing as well and probably reduce errors, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like the working with the paper is only one part of the process that needs to happen.
Exactly.
So if we think about where are we trying to go, we're trying to get information into a new format or into a new system or merge two kinds of information together, but half the information stuck in the documents. Once we get it in there, we can do all kinds of things digitally with information that have tremendous value for the users on the other side, for the business, for the use case.
And so follow a flow.
That's right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So tell us a little bit about how you came to work with Ellen and the team.
Yeah. So over the last probably 18 months or so, we've had an incredible account manager that's worked with us and really kind of unlocked a lot of access to exciting people here at AWS. And she suggested that we have a session with some of the AWS team, the backward, was it backward forward?
Working backwards.
Working backwards. Thank you. I always mess that up.
That's okay.
We start with the customer use cases, the needs of the customer, and we work backward.
Yeah. So
like moonwalk going backward.
Yeah. But she suggested we bring somebody in, and I have been in the industry for a long time building software, and so I, from the outskirts, had done some studying of the Two Pizza team and the way that the way that AWS does it, and I always kind of admired that, and a lot of places we've even tried to replicate some of that. So I was super excited about having the team come in and share with us this way that the AWS builds the software. And so I showed up in our conference room in St. George, Utah, and Ellen was in there, and I was so excited because I'm like, we get to work with somebody who's done this thousands of times, and it was such a fun session, and we're still in the middle of it. Like, I know we're not even through the process yet, but we have so much more to go, and so it's been a really great journey.
Yeah, it's really exciting. One thing that you identify when you start to realize there's so many different customers and so many perspectives. Sometimes I think of it like looking through different lenses at the same problem. You see many different perspectives. Is that then you have the challenge, the opportunity, but also the challenge of figuring out how do we want to prioritize our work.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like one big roadmap. We'll eventually get to all of the customers, but where do we want to focus the effort? What's the biggest value area where we can start, but where we can start small and name experiments that we can do first. So there's a whole aspect of sorting and organization that goes into it. But once we know the problem that we want to solve, we can get right into solving it.
And it's been so useful because, I've been with Vasion for 10 years now, and you often get so close to your solution and your customer problems, that it's enlightening to bring in an external view and perspective to really kind of be like, oh, well, okay, that I just thought that was a given, but it's really not. Or I thought that was the given target, but it's not, So it's been a fun process so far, and I look forward to more of it.
Absolutely. One of the things we often talk about, you talked about this a little bit, that kind of instilling that culture of experimentation, trying things, maybe it doesn't work, kind of trying something else. We always talk about experimentation or innovation being the twin of failure or challenge, right? And reforming and reframing failure as learning and as part of the process of experimentation. Does that resonate with you? Are there areas that you, I'm sure along the way, the many years that you've been doing this work has, I'm sure there's been struggles along the way for you as well, right?
Yeah, one really good example would be we were able to do a session here at reInvent this year with a company called Basics International, which is a nonprofit organization. And we were able to actually leverage in some of the work that we did with Textract early on at the county, at the large county that I talked about in the process. And the objective was to automate in a safe way communication between a child, because they sponsor children in Jakor, Africa for education purposes, and they're trying to connect children with sponsors. And to allow the children and sponsor to have a relationship throughout the year that the sponsor's paying for the child to go to education, and a safe communication. And how do you do that without lots of manual intervention? Like having somebody write the letter to Basics International's office, they review it, take out, then they rewrite it, and then send it on to the child if there's any type of issues with it. And it's like so much manual work. So we set out to automate this, leveraging some of the AI technologies that we wanted to do. We wanted to use from AWS, like we did with Textract. And we quickly kind of tapped into Comprehend, which is detection capabilities to be able to allow you to detect PII information. Once we detect PII information, we can highlight it and show it instantly. We also could automatically redact it and just move on with the letter. But one of the challenges we had in this instance was that we kind of experimented with was there's certain terms outside of standard PII information, like phone number and address information. Pat and her team also wanted to understand what if somebody wrote the word like visa or green card, or they made a request like, hey, will you send me money for an iPad, or will you send me a laptop? Like those are all like non-safe things too. And we worked with the solution architects at AWS and realized that we would have to actually fine-tune Comprehend model. And every time we wanted to add a new phrase, we'd have to do all this work on the model, which is not cost-effective for a nonprofit organization. It's just way too much money. So partnering with some of the solution architects, they recommended that we may look at Bedrock and at the guardrails capability inside of Bedrock, because you can take large language and you can just specify like terms or single words and have it look for those things. And so we've now cycled through integrating that in a very simple way. So now a step of the process can simply be, take this letter content, which can be digitally or it can be handwritten, because we can convert that now, and send it also after fact into guardrails and look for these terms, and we can get now notification. And now that ability to actually communicate between a child and a sponsor can really happen multiple times a month, which is huge encouragement, right? And they can do it in a very safe way.
Maybe help us by, you said Pat is the CEO of Basics, is that correct?
Yes.
Maybe help us by just giving a short summary of what you announced here and the broader partnership that you're working on with Basics with Amazon.
Yeah, so Basics International, and Pat is the CEO. They have been really focused in kind of one area in Ghana called Jakor, and they have a strong school system there. They're bringing a lot of kids into education and spinning them up. But the processes and the way that they've gone to build it, to actually do the work has been so manually intense, like to the point that like her staff would have to go out and they find the child, they fill out a quick form, and they have to come back to get an approval. And by the time they go back out, the child's gone. Like they lose, like you talk about like losing children, right? And it's been so intense that now that we've been able to help automate that, like they now go out on their phone, they can fill out, find the information, immediately get response and approval while they're still there with the child. They can take pictures of the child, and we can take that picture in, and then we can associate using recognition to associate it with other pictures, so we can create photo catalogs automatically in letters. But they've only been able to do it with one school, and the company's name is Basic International. So we've been working with her to actually look at other schools in places like Kenya and even in South America potentially, where they can start expanding into other schools with the technologies, with the capabilities that we've built, and apply those and really become Basics International. So just Basics 1.
It's really an example of how so many organizations can take the core function that they're trying to do and say, how might we do that immediately instead of wrestling with weeks or months or back and forth and bottlenecks? Like, how might we do something automatically? How close to automatic could we get?
Yes.
There's so many cases like that.
And how the work that you're enabling, that efficiency, optimization, and safety that you're building in to all of your workflows and capabilities then enables people to think bigger, right? About what their mission could be, because you can leverage that technology in a way that maybe you didn't think of before, right?
Yeah, or even fulfill. Like I know, like when Pat thought about Basics International, the name of it, she was thinking bigger, but you get so trapped in only what you can do until you can be unlocked.
Right.
Unlocking impact.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes, that's a great segue for where you are now. What's the next thing on the list of accomplishments for Vasion?
So we have a mighty big vision when you think about making digital transformation attainable for everyone. And today we're delivering automated solutions across all the things we've discussed today. In the future, though, we see a world where we will transform our solution into an autonomous automation platform. That instead of us going into businesses and saying, hey, what is your process? Why don't you go ahead and tell us, and we'll help you automate that, to the point where we can go into business, and with some of the agent AI stuff that's starting to get created, we actually can discover workflows.
Yeah.
And we can identify those automatically, and then automatically flip those into automations, and then monitor those automations and optimize those automations, and truly change the way, again, unlocking this impact, change the way that people actually operate their business, and give the people who went to school to be a doctor time to do that work instead of all the operations of the business. That's across every industry, every profession.
Absolutely. Everybody, every job, every role, every industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
All around the world.
It's exciting. Very nice. Well, Corey and Ellen, thank you so much for being with us today. And as we close out, I'm wondering if you have reflections that you would share. I'll start with you, Ellen, for our listeners, about the work that you've done with Vasion, or just with experimentation, innovation, and transformation over the many years you've had doing that.
Well, I think maybe appropriate to the story in the broader arc is the importance of companies that have the opportunity to participate in innovation and transformation in a world that's ever more moving to the cloud. The importance of yourself getting onto the cloud. You did the transformation and moved into SaaS and moved into the cloud in an authentic way, which is native built and well architected. I work with a lot of customers who didn't quite do that yet. And so there's a little bit of a challenge to how much they can take advantage of all of the new technologies and services, and how much they can impact effective innovation on their customers. So I think it's just put you in a tremendous position that you did this work early, and that you're truly ready to embrace anything that we can bring along in terms of our own innovation in the partnership. And then once you're in that position, anything that we innovate on together, anything net new that we do, we can add to your position in the marketplace. You're already able to reach customers through the AWS marketplace. And so now every new innovation is just something more we can add, and it becomes immediately accessible to the entire ecosystem. So I think you've really put yourself in an excellent position for our growth.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's been a lot of work, but a lot of really good technical guidance from the solution architecture team here at AWS. As I think about our journey a little bit, one of the things I often reflect on is this move to the cloud was so critical for us. Being well architected in AWS was a big part of it, but also for us in the way that we've done it. We've really employed like a continuous delivery model in the sense that not only are we in cloud, but our engineering and product team can deliver to cloud, multiple times a day, all the way through production, which really helps us do that experimental and that iterative approach really, really quickly. And I've always been super grateful that we were so aggressive in doing that, because it does give us to a position. And now as we really start looking at our customer problems, whether it's a commercial customer or a nonprofit customer, it gives us the ability to actually introduce new capabilities and services at a speed that helps them really believe and deliver a solution that really works for them.
Tangible benefit fast.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. Yes. Well, thank you again for being here with us. It's been a delight.
Thanks,
Sarah.